Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, All from Jade. In this tutorial, we're gonna learn how to make these cute baby spiders together. So if you want to do the mamas, you can see here in my video, you can find the written pattern on my Ravelry and Etsy shops. And the link is in the description down below. The pattern also includes the dad with no pouch here, so you can make the babies, the egg, and the mama. So to make your own little spider, that's what you'll need. So you'll need a stitch marker. You can also use a bobby pin or scrap strand of yarn if you want. Some safety eyes, a pair of scissors, crochet hook, stuffing, and some yarn. And for this tutorial, I'll be using the worsted weight yarn with a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, just because it's easier for me to show you the stitches with that yarn. But you can do that spider in any yarn, so you're just following the same exact tutorial here, but you can use any yarn type that you want. And make sure to check the description down below, so if you click on show more, you'll see all the information about the other yarns that I recommend, and the size of the eyes and the size of the crochet hook, so make sure to check that out. Okay, so I'm gonna start by making a slip knot. If you know how to make a magic ring, you can do your magic ring right now. I'm skipping the magic ring for the tutorial to keep it as beginner friendly as possible. But if you know how to do it, or if you'd like to learn, you can check my tutorial right here, or you can just follow me. I'm gonna show you another technique to skip that magic ring. So I'm gonna start by making a slip knot. So this is the technique I'm using to do my slip knot, but you can do your slip knot just like you want. And I'm gonna chain 2. So if you have your magic ring ready, we're gonna work 8 single crochet stitches into that ring. Or if you've done that chain 2 technique, I'm gonna single crochet my 8 stitches into the second chain from the hook right here. And I'm gonna yarn under for that tutorial or for that pattern, just because I like that look better, but you can yarn over as regular if you want. So for the yarn under technique, I'm gonna yarn under for the first time, so the yarn goes under the hook, pull it through, and then I'm gonna yarn over for the second one, and that's 1 single crochet stitch. And we want to do a total of 8. So that's 2, okay, so I have my 8 single crochet stitches. I'm gonna close the opening by pulling on the yarn tail. Same if you have a magic ring, you can close the opening now. And now we're gonna work into so we're gonna work our second round, and we're gonna start into the first single crochet stitch that we made. If you're not sure where it is, you can just count from the end. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 right here. So I'm going to insert my crochet hook here, and I'm going to work an increase. So to work an increase, you're going to do 2 single crochet stitches together. So that's 1. I'm going to place my stitch marker here. If you want to use one, you can. If you don't have any stitch marker, you can use a bobby pin or a scrap piece of yarn. And then I'm going to go back into the same stitch to work another single crochet stitch to give us that increase. So right now I have 2 single crochet stitches into the same stitch, and I've marked my first single crochet stitch of that round. I'm going to go into the next stitch, and I'm going to work another increase. So 2 single crochet stitches together. Remember that you can always change the speed of the video in the settings under playback speed. And now let's meet when you reach your marker with your 16 stitches. Okay, I have my 16 stitches around, and I reach my marker. And now for rounds 3 and 4, we're simply going to keep the same number of stitches, which is 16. So I'm going to start my round 3 by making 1 single crochet stitch. I'm going to place my stitch marker back right here. And I'm going to go into the next stitch, and I'm going to work a single crochet stitch. So I'm just making 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch around for a total of 16. So that's 3. And let's meet at the end of round 3 now. 16. And by the way, you want the yarn tail to be inside the piece. So if your piece is flipping like this, it's normal. Just flip it back. So this is the right side of my stitches and this is the wrong side of my stitches. So you just want to make sure that the yarn tail is inside the head or the piece like this. So for next round, we're going to repeat what we just did. So round 4 will be the exact same thing as round 3. So you're going to make 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch around, and we're going to meet at the end of round 4 with our 16 stitches. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 4 and it looks like this. I'm going to remove my stitch marker, and for the next round we're going to work the legs. So I'm going to use the front loop only. So to find the front loops, it's always the loop closer to you. So usually when you do your stitches, you want to insert your crochet hook underneath both loops. But now for that round, I just want to use the front loops, which is the closest to me, like this. So for the entire round, I'm only going to work into the front loops. Okay, so I've inserted my hook into the next front loop and I'm going to work a slip stitch. So I'm going to yarn over and pull through the front loop and through the working loop. So pull through everything on the hook. That's a slip stitch. And here, if you're a beginner, you just want to insert your stitch marker into the remaining back loop. So at the back of the stitch. So remember, we've just used the front loop and my back loop is right here. It's just going to be easier to find your that loop next round. Okay? And then I'm going to do 2 more slip stitches. So going into the next front loop, yarn over, pull through everything, and then 1 more front loop, slip stitch. And then we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and starting into the second chain from the hook, I'm going to make 3 slip stitches. So 1, 2, 3. Going into the second chain from the hook, slip stitch, 1, next chain, slip stitch, 1, next chain, slip stitch, 1. So we have a total of 3 slip stitches. Then I'm going to go back into the head of my spider and find the next front loop and slip stitch in it. And we're going to repeat that. So that's 1 leg. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, into the second chain from the hook, slip stitch, and then 2 more. So we're going down the leg. And then into the head, go back into the next front loop and slip stitch. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and slip stitch 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we have 1 more leg to do on that side. So going back into the head, into the next front loop, slip stitch, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch 3 in the chains. That's 3, and then we're going back into the head and we're gonna work still in the front loops only, and we're gonna do 5 slip stitches. So next front loop, slip stitch 1, next front loop, slip stitch 2, next front loop, slip stitch 3, 4, 5, and then we're gonna work our second set of legs. So chain 4, we're just repeating the same thing. So repeat what we just did for the other set of legs. So we're still gonna do 4 legs on this side, and then we're gonna meet once you have your 4 legs for this side also. And here I'm finishing my 4th leg. And then we have 2 more slip stitches to make in the front loops only. So next front loop of the head, slip stitch, 1, next front loop, slip stitch, 1. Okay, so now it looks like this. I'm going to pull on my yarn tail, I'm going to remove my crochet hook, and I'm going to place the eyes now that I see where my legs are. I'm just going to place my eyes right here, So I'll take my first eye. So where your yarn is still attached is the back of the spider, and the other side is the front of the spider. And I'm gonna go and insert my first eye between rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm inserting one pretty close to the first leg here at the front. Okay, and then I'm gonna skip a stitch. So skip kind of a hole. So you see I've inserted it here. I'm gonna skip this one and I'm gonna go into the next like this. So it brings our eyes really close together and it's so cute. Okay, and then I'm gonna secure them inside of the head. And quick tip here, you can also decide to add 2 more eyes, so one on each side for a total of 4 eyes. It gives a spider look and it's so cute. Just like this. And then we're ready for our last round. I'm gonna insert my crochet hook back into the loop. And then that's where your stitch marker is maybe helpful if you're a beginner. So I can see here that so if I flip my spider and I kind of like open it up, if you want, you're gonna see your leftover back loops. So all the back loops that we didn't use, and the first back loop is where my stitch marker is. So I can see that I'm gonna show you with my yarn needle. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way around, and we should have a total of 16 back loops left. Now to close that spider, so I'm going to remove my stitch marker, but remember where your back loop is. We're going to work decreases, and I'm going to use the regular decrease technique. So I'm not using the invisible decrease technique if you know it. So I'm going to insert my hook into that first back loop. I'm going to yarn under, pull it through the back loop. So I have 2 loops on my hook. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to insert my hook into the next back loop, yarn under, pull through, and you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So that's 1 decrease. You can place your stitch marker here into that first stitch if you want. And we're going to repeat that around for a total of 8 times. So I'm going to go into the next back loop, yarn under, pull through, into the next back loop, yarn under, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And now keep doing this until you have 1 more decrease to make, and we're going to meet there. Now I have 1 more. So this one you may need to look a little bit for these last 2 stitches. And the last one is kind of hiding. So if you can't find it, don't worry, just do a regular single crochet stitch. And if you can see it, try and insert your hook into it to make your last decrease. And then I'm just gonna slip stitch into the first decrease that I made. So I can see here I have a decrease, so that first stitch here. So if you place your stitch marker, it's where you placed it, and pull through to make your slip stitch. Then I'm gonna pull my crochet hook to leave a little bit of a yarn tail, and I'm gonna cut my yarn. Pull through, and then we just need to stuff our little spider and close the opening. So this yarn tail here from the magic ring or the slip knot, you can hide it inside. And if you have some space left, you can stuff it with scrap yarn, or you can use some stuffing just to fill it. Okay, and now to close it, you can use your yarn needle, or I'm going to show you with your crochet hook if you don't have a yarn needle. So you're going to insert your crochet hook from the inside of the spider out, and taking only the front loops, so the loop closer to you. So like this, grab your yarn tail and pull it through. And you want to do that around, so a total of 8 times. That's 2, so I'm going to the next front loop from the inside going out. Grab your yarn, pull it through. That's 3. and 8. And then you can pull on your yarn tail and it's gonna close the opening here. And then to hide your yarn tail, once again, you can use your crochet hook or you can use a yarn needle. I'm gonna use once again the crochet hook just to show you. So I'm gonna insert my hook into one stitch of the head. I'm gonna grab the yarn and pull it through. And then I'm gonna cut my yarn and push it in with my scissors to hide it. And there you go, you have your tiny little spider. So I really hope you enjoy that tiny little project, and make sure to make tons of little spiders and tag me on Instagram if you make some under All From Jade. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, give it a like, a comment, and I'll see you in another video. Bye guys!